And blessings, kings and queens. Peace and blessings. Shalom. Peace and blessings. Happy Sabbath to everybody. I'm just coming forward with a short but detailed lesson on the Sabbath. For anybody that want to understand and want to know what the Sabbath is about or why we should keep the Sabbath holy. I'm just going to give short but detailed information, like I say, just for a lesson today on the Sabbath for anyone that's wanting to understand it or don't have it. So follow me as we go over the little information. Short but detailed. First of all, the Bible confirms the Sabbath the Sabbath day, from Genesis to Revelation. But let's get the reason for the Sabbath. It's in Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. I'm going to put it on the screen for you to get it and read it. The reason I'm starting here is because Christians under Gentile theology, they think that the Sabbath was under Moses. They don't have to follow the Sabbath. But understand, it was a Sabbath before there was even a man such name as Moses or Moshe. Understand that. So when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through 3, this is how you know what John is speaking of in Revelations, the first chapter. Because the Most High God, who created us, blessed the seventh day. He blessed the seventh day. So from the beginning, that was a day of the Lord and that's easy. That just comes from just reading the Bible and just getting that understanding from just reading scripture. It lets you know the Most High, he hallowed the seventh day. You know what I'm saying? You can read that in scripture. So it's just really easy and not hard to understand once you just open the Bible and read it. So he did not create the heaven and earth on the first day of the week, which is Sunday. So what Moses was doing was confirming what was given to him and given to our forefathers, basically. Before the flood, it was just written in stone. It was given to Adam, it was given to Seth, it was given to Enoch, all the way down to Noah, to Shem, to Abraham, all the way down to Israel. And it was put on stone and it's a reason for that. And that's the Sabbath. Wake up. And this is no place in the Bible that says once Christ rose from the dead on the first day of the week, the Sabbath will switch to Sunday. That did not happen. After we fell in and the Gentiles began to rule, because they was already worshiping on the first day of the week in the Bacchus Roman temples. They was worshiping the S-U-N and not the S-O-N. They was compromised in the 4th century between Constantine. It was a compromise in the 4th century, between Constantine and between a pagan, a Roman, and Christendom. So they compromised for the pagans and made the Lord's Day the first day of the week. It's nowhere in the Bible that says the Sunday, and that nobody can prove that. It's nowhere where it say it was switched to Sunday, the Sabbath. That can't be proven through Scripture. Nobody can prove that because it don't say it nowhere in Scripture. Understand that. So let's look at the law. Let's get it out of Exodus 20:8. It says, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. No, forget it. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. No, let's move it to the first day of the week. It don't say that. It says remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. So he said remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Now out of all the laws, why did he say keep the Sabbath holy? Because God knew that's the day that we will forget. When we went into captivity, he knew that the people us as a people, we would be taught to sin. You know what I'm saying? In a system, like this in America. So let's look at one more important scripture in Exodus. Let's look at this last scripture here in Exodus 31:13. I'm going to put it on the screen so you can read it. And then you see that it says that, it say that keeping the Sabbath is evident. When you keep the Sabbath, it's evident, that we are following the Most High and keeping the Sabbath day. That's why we begin to suffer as a people following Gentiles who do not keep the Sabbath holy. So when you keeping the Sabbath and you following it, it's a sign between us and the Most High to showing that you following the Most High by keeping this day holy, keeping the Sabbath. That's a sign alone letting you know that people are following the Most High when you keep the Sabbath holy. And understand this, Christ and Paul from the tribe of Benjamin, from the tribe of Benjamin, our brother Paul the apostle, they was both teaching the Gentiles on the Sabbath, every week in the synagogues of Satan. So don't never let nobody tell you that the Sabbath don't still stand. It still stands. Peace and blessings. Shalom. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. Peace and blessings. The Sabbath. Let me start off by saying Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath to everybody. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. The Sabbath is very important. The Sabbath is very important because this is a day that was established from the beginning. And this is how you know that we still supposed to be following the Sabbath, because this is something that was established in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Since creation. It tell you in scriptures that the Most High said that the 6 days he did work, for the seventh he will rest. Told Adam to hallow that day. He gave it to Adam and told him to hallow that day. So the Sabbath has been established since the beginning, since creation. The Sabbath always been celebrated every week. It's just we're not being celebrated within the earth. Or, you know what I'm saying, in these churches, because they make you think that you're supposed to be worshiping them on Sunday, but skip right over the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Sunday is not the seventh day of the week. Sunday is the first day of the week. So the Sabbath is so important. It'll tell you in Exodus 20 and 8, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. So why would it tell you to remember the Sabbath to keep it holy out of all the commandments? That's the only one he told you to remember and keep holy. Why would it tell you to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy? That's something that you got to understand and realize. It's a reason for that, because he told you to remember to keep it holy, because he knew that's the day that we will forget coming out of captivity. Our people forgot that we was following the Sabbath and keeping it holy. That's a sign in scripture to tell you the Most High said that's how you know that you are connected to the Most High and you're following him, when you're following the Sabbath and keeping the Sabbath holy. So understand, the Sabbath is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, the seventh day of the week. It tell you in Daniel 7 and 25 that they would think to change times, laws, and dates. So they got you thinking the Sabbath is on Sunday when it's not. It's the fact that you skip right over the Sabbath every week and go right to Sunday worship is where we err at. Understand that. Peace and blessings.
Just a little while longer. Pray on. Just a little while longer. Pray on. Just a little while longer. And everything else is gonna be